Periods and autism. What a combination. Whoever thought that it was like a good idea for someone to have a period, but let alone also be autistic. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about periods and autism from somebody who has both. So let's go ahead and get started.
And trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it.
If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is Deanna. I am a late diagnosed autistic. I was diagnosed just over a year ago, and I basically have a body that menstruates and a body that has periods. So being autistic and having a body that has periods, I thought I was well versed to talk about this. I also want to give credit where credit is due. So thank you to Hayden for giving me this inspiration of this video. I watched her video and I was highly inspired to put my own take on it. So yeah, I want to give credit where credit is due. So the first thing I want to talk about is overstimulation. I am somebody who is very overstimulated very easily. My period makes that so much worse, and I can become very irritable. I can become very easily triggered by things. I suppose triggered is probably the wrong word, because triggered would be described more like a PTSD reaction, I suppose. But we're going to use the word triggered. When I say that, I mean like my emotions are more easily triggered by being on my period. So yeah, I can become more easily irritable, crying, feeling extremely tired. Like, I have a very emotional reaction to being on my period. So I want you to know that feeling overwhelmed and being on your period if you're neurodivergent is completely normal, and there's nothing more I can kind of say for that. However, if you're overstimulated, knowing that it is okay to take a day for yourself, take 2 days for yourself, take a week for yourself, however long you feel that you need. Throw society pressures out the window. If you need to cancel plans, if you need to stay for a whole day in bed watching true crime or watching like your favorite TV show or movie, do that. Do not feel like you have to perform for anybody. If you feel that you need to stay in bed for the whole day, do it. Because honestly, girl, we have this every single month. We deserve at least 1 day, if not 2 days, or if not 3 days a month, where we can look after ourselves. No, I'm joking. Also look after yourself every single day. But when you're on your period especially, make sure that you are listening to your body, to your mind, and to every element of yourself so that you can care for yourself the most when you're on your period. I also want to then bring in executive dysfunction. When I'm on my period, or when I'm coming up to being on my period, my executive dysfunction is at an all-time high, because I struggle with my executive dysfunction as it is. I probably have like 1 week in a month where I am like a woman goddess when it comes to housework, cleaning, decluttering. I'll have 1 week in a whole month where I feel like I can be on top of the world and I can get everything done on my to-do list. I can, be up to date with everything. I'll have 1 week in a month where that's possible. However, I can have another week or 10 days where I can get like half the things done on my to-do list. And then the rest of the month, forget it. Forget the to-do lists, the to-do lists, the point systems. Forget everything. I struggle to do anything when I'm on my period. And this means that I rely on easy, quick meals that I can prepare in like 5 minutes. I live off couscous. Couscous is one of my favorite things to live off when I'm on my period. Ready meals, things that like chocolate, because I crave sweet stuff so much on my period. So chocolate is one of the biggest things that I will crave, or love chocolate. I don't know why I love chocolate. I was more of a sweets girl when I was younger, but however, I'm more of a chocolate girl now. Oops. However, I like to try and make up for that when I'm not on my period, and I like to try and make more healthy meals for the times where I am on my period. So when I mention ready meals, some of those ready meals are going to be ready meals that I have made and I have bulk cooked and then frozen, because I know that when I'm on my period, I struggle to do something as simple as cooking or showering, or like even doing anything, even going out of the house, getting out of bed. Sometimes I struggle with when I'm on my period. So knowing that if you're on your period and you're also autistic, or you're got ADHD or something like that, it's okay to do less, be as much as you can be. Is what I'm trying to say. So following on from that, learning to listen to your body and learning to like understand your body is very important. I know that on the lead up to my period, I start getting the cravings. That is the one thing. The first thing I'll notice is the cravings, the chocolate cravings, the sweet cravings. I will notice that my motivation starts going down the drain. Like, not necessarily completely, but it will go down the drain a little bit, and it will start to kind of go on a steady decline until we hit my period, where like I will do pretty much nothing, and then it will slowly start to come up again, and then it will peak, and as I said, I'll have that week peak where I'm at the top, where I'm like this goddess, this domestic goddess, and then it will start to go down again. It's almost like a roller coaster. It's not fun. Like, being a woman is not like fun. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, you are a woman, so you get it. I will get extreme fatigue. I'll be napping throughout the day. Not throughout the day, but like at least once a day I'll nap. I will feel myself starting to get pain, and usually I get a bit of back pain. I don't really cramp. You know when some people say, oh, I get cramps? I do cramp, but I suppose I get back cramps and back pain. Less like in the front, where like some people, they're holding their stomach and it's really painful in their stomach. I get it in my back. So I get it like lower back. I will get like extreme like cramping and like pulsating in my back, which I don't know if there's any science behind that. If someone knows if there's science behind that, and if like, you know, genetics play a part in like whether you're more prone to be like a front cramp person or a back cramp person, then please let me know in the comment section. I get a lot of back cramps, and some periods I get no cramps at all, which I know is like fairly lucky, but I also know that I have a high pain tolerance. I can get tattoos and not even like flinch, so I know that like I've got a fairly high pain tolerance. So maybe I am cramping, and maybe I'm just like, I'm fine, and I don't even like register the fact that I'm in pain. I don't really know. However, that is kind of how I know, but I also know that I get mood swings and I get very irritable very easy, and when I start getting irritable, I am like, right, I need to like step away from the situation. I need to make it so I'm not in like putting someone in the line of fire. I need to learn that I may need a bit more time to myself, so that I'm not like ruining friendships, or I'm not like making things really hard for somebody else. So yeah, I basically have to listen to my body, and listening to your body is very important. Like, you may not get all these symptoms, and some months I get them like extremely bad. Like, I get these symptoms that I've mentioned extremely bad, and then some months I don't get them that bad at all, and I can, you know, have a longer period of time where I'm at that top and I'm at that domestic goddess phase, and sometimes I have like literally 2 days in a whole month where I'm like a domestic goddess. So it fluctuates. I want you to know that relaxing is okay, and doing nothing while you're on your period is okay. Doing nothing on the lead up to your period, if you struggle like more on the lead up to your period rather than when you're actually on your period, then learning that doing nothing in a day is absolutely fine. It's fine to just lay in bed and watch movies, like bed rot, as some people might describe it as. And know that it's okay to cancel or say no to some commitments you may have. So also like looking at your diary and tracking your cycle. I use the app Flow, but there is like a multitude of different apps you can use. And like the more you use these apps, the better they are. And when I had irregular periods, they were quite difficult to use because they just weren't able to like track my cycle. They weren't able to learn what my cycle was like. However, now that I'm having a more regular cycle, I can actually like use these apps, and I find them really useful because like I'll get notifications that say, oh, you might be feeling more tired today, or you're at a point in your cycle where you've got the highest chance of conceiving, or you're at a point in your cycle where you may be feeling very energetic. Like, it actually gives me notifications from the Flow app that tells me how I may expect to feel today, and it's usually quite on point. It's quite scary how it knows that I'm gonna feel like irritable, or I'm gonna feel very like low motivation, or whatever it knows I'm gonna feel, and I'm like, that's scary, but thank you for letting me know. The next thing I want to talk about is I'm becoming more neurodivergent on my period, and I know that this is something that a lot of people kind of go through, because in Chloe's video there was a lot of people who commented about like feeling more autistic or more ADHD, or like just feeling more neurodivergent in general. And this kind of goes down with like, if you're autistic or if you are ADHD, I mean, I can talk from an autistic perspective. I will feel more sensitive, I'll be more easily triggered, I will, all these things that I've mentioned previously in this video, it can make me seem more autistic, but I'm actually just very used to masking when I'm not on my period, and when I am on my period, it just made like my autism more prominent, I suppose. And yeah, so yeah, just treating the autistic in your life, or treating yourself with kindness, is the message I want you to take away from this video. Another thing that I want to put in this video, and to like let you know that it's okay to do, is take pain relief. Girl, you do not need to be strong. You do not need to like not take pain relief and think that's like making you strong. No, take pain relief. Take whatever you are happy and comfortable with taking, and whatever works for you. And this is the same for actual period products. So if you find that using a tampon is what works for you, use a tampon. If you find using a pad, or using period underwear, or using a cup, or however you feel is the most accessible and the most helpful to you during your period, use it. I know there's a whole sort of shift towards people wanting to like use reusable period products because they're more sustainable. If they do not work for you because they make you feel uncomfortable, or they make you feel like I don't know how else to describe it. If they do not work for you, do not feel like you have to like go along with society and use period products that are like reusable. Because I, for myself, I know that if I use reusable period products, I will either not wash them and they will go disgusting and I'll end up throwing them away anyway, and then they cost more for something that I'm just going to end up throwing away, or I will wash them and then they will like go weird and they'll feel different after like a couple of washes and I'll end up throwing them away. Or I don't know, like they just don't work for me. Like I've not tried a cup, but the thought of it just kind of freaks me out, and like I just don't want to try a cup, and that's okay. Yeah, so basically I use disposable period products and that's absolutely fine. But if you can use reusable products and that is something that works for you, then do it. Do it, honestly, if it works for you. Some other types of pain relief that I do want to put in this video are things like TENS machines. The TENS machine works for me. If I'm particularly cramping in my back, you can basically stick these pads on and they will send like little electric pulses into the area that you are having this pain, and it basically tells your brain, stop giving me pain. That's actually quite a cool thing. Brain, stop giving me pain. If you are in pain, take pain relief. There's a TENS machine, modern medication, things like paracetamol, or if you're in America, acetaminophen. Things like that, Tylenol if you're in America, or ibuprofen if you're in England. And yeah, those sort of medications, take them if you can and if you like want to, / if that is something that's accessible to you. But if you are like allergic to it or if you whatever, then don't take it. Don't just take my advice. Take what's best for you and like leave what's not good for you. Another form of pain relief is a hot bath or a shower. I like hot showers because I'm not the most biggest fan of sitting in a bath on my period. I love baths in general, but on my period, nah, no thank you. Heat packs and like period yoga and stuff like that, and just period exercise in general can be helpful. I find that heat packs are too much for me, like because I'm warm as a person anyway, like heat wise. So therefore putting a heat pack on, it can be okay for a bit, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to have it on for hours and hours and hours. Like that's not something that like I would find it more uncomfortable having that on, and the negatives would outweigh the positives. Anyway, so the main things I use is my TENS machine, I use the modern medication, and I use like hot showers as well. They're like the three that I kind of lean towards, but do whatever you feel is something that would help you. There are other different types of ways that you can like get pain relief when you're on your period, but do whatever is best for you. And this can go for if you're neurotypical or neurodivergent, but it's really important if you're neurodivergent to listen to yourself, try a few different things, and if they don't work, then don't worry about it, honestly, just to do the things that work for you. The last thing I want to talk about is not necessarily just a period thing, but it is an executive dysfunction thing. So if you're on your period and you need to lean towards more of these techniques because your executive function is worse, then do it. So timers. Put timers on for everything. This is what I do. So in a general basis, I put timers on for like when my dinner's gonna be ready, or when I need to change like when I need to go and change my laundry over because I've got communal laundry. However, this can be applied to being on your period. You could put a timer on for when you need to change a period product, or you could put a timer on for like when you need to like go to bed so you're in a better sleep cycle if you're struggling with that sort of thing when you're on your period, or when you can take more medication. That's another way for using a timer. Using like if you struggle with showers on your period, then knowing that it's okay to use a wipe and a new pair of underwear. That will still give you that freshening feeling, but it's not something that is like as big of a task as a shower if you're struggling, if you're in pain, if you're irritable and you don't want to have a shower. Know that just doing the bare minimum, which for some people may be just wiping and like changing their underwear and changing their period products, is fine. It's absolutely okay. Like, do not feel like you have to have a shower every single day. If you can have a shower during your period, do it. If you can't, then don't. If you feel like the only thing you can muster to doing that day is to get up and change your underwear and to give yourself a little tiny freshen up down below, do it. Honestly, no one's gonna judge you. Like, the only person who's really judging you is yourself. And I've learned through years of just being a woman in general, and then when I was diagnosed as being autistic, that the harshest critic is myself, and knowing that doing things because it makes me feel happy, or doing things because I know that my body is going to thank me for it, is the biggest reward and the biggest reason to do something. So that is my whole video about periods and autism. If you have liked this video, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you are new here. If you don't do any of those things, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, basically, if you would like to show some support towards my channel and you would like to help this video get pushed out, then doing any of those things, sharing, liking, commenting, are all things that are going to help the YouTube gods, the YouTube algorithm, to be like, right, I'm going to push this video out to more people, and when it's pushed out to more people, it helps more people. But without further ado, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget that I believe in you even if nobody else does, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.
Just like you're young again, no, don't you cry. Just get back up again.